Section 2. What is intelligence? What is artificial intelligence? Learning objectives. By the end of this section, learners will be able to distinguish between human intelligence and artificial intelligence, too. Understand key characteristics of intelligence such as learning, reasoning, adaptation, and decision-making. 3. Define artificial intelligence both conceptually and technically, seeing how it relates to and differs from intelligence. To understand artificial intelligence properly, we first need to examine a deeper question. What is intelligence itself? Intelligence has fascinated philosophers, scientists, and educators for centuries. At its core, intelligence means the ability to acquire knowledge, adapt to new situations, solve problems, and apply reasoning to make decisions. For humans, intelligence is demonstrated in many ways. When a student learns a new language by listening and practicing, that is intelligence. When a doctor diagnoses a disease by connecting visible symptoms with medical history, that is intelligence. When a child invents a new game from imagination and teaches it to friends, that too is intelligence. So if intelligence is about learning, adapting, problem-solving, and creativity, the natural question becomes, can machines display something like this as well? Human intelligence versus machine intelligence. Human intelligence is biological. It arises from billions of neurons in our brains, interacting through chemical and electrical signals. Over time, humans gather knowledge, reason about it, and use imagination to create entirely new things. Humans not only learn from data, we also bring emotions, ethics, and context into our decisions. Machines, however, are different. What we call artificial intelligence does not emerge naturally. It is programmed and engineered. Instead of neurons and emotions, machines rely on mathematics, algorithms, and data. Humans learn a language by experience and context. AI learns a language by analyzing millions of sentences and finding statistical patterns. Humans can solve a new problem creatively. AI solves problems by pattern matching to past data and applying rules it was given or learned from examples. Humans make decisions guided by values, culture, and ethics. AI makes decisions purely from probabilities and data correlations. The Turing question in 1948, British mathematician Alan Turing, often called the father of modern computer science, asked a profound question. Can machines think? This question does not necessarily mean machines think like us. Instead, Turing proposed what is now known as the Turing test. If a conversation with a machine is indistinguishable from a conversation with a human, then the machine can be said to exhibit intelligence. This idea was revolutionary because it shifted the inquiry from what is thinking to what can machines do that appears intelligent. Defining artificial intelligence. Now let us arrive at the working definition. Artificial intelligence is the science and engineering of creating machines or systems that can perform tasks that normally require human intelligence by learning from data, adapting to inputs, and making useful predictions or decisions. This definition emphasizes 3 critical aspects. 1. Learning from data. AI systems improve performance as they are exposed to more training data. 2. Adaptation. AI can adjust to new inputs. For example, improving recommendations as your behavior online changes. 3. Decision or prediction. AI applies what it has learned to produce a meaningful outcome, whether it is recognizing a face, suggesting a purchase, or detecting fraud. Analogy. Student versus AI. Think of a student preparing for an exam. The student studies notes, solves practice questions, and learns from mistakes. Over time, the student recognizes patterns, certain question types, how marks are awarded, and effective study habits. When the actual exam comes, the student uses this practice to predict the best answers. This is almost exactly how AI works. It is first trained on a dataset, equivalent to studying notes. It processes examples again and again to reduce errors, like solving practice questions. It recognizes statistical patterns in the input, like spotting exam trends. Finally, it applies those patterns to solve new problems, like answering unseen exam questions. The difference is obvious. The student also brings in creativity, cultural knowledge, and imagination. AI, however, is locked to pattern recognition and prediction. Why this distinction matters, it is important not to confuse human and artificial intelligence. Calling it intelligence does not mean AI is conscious, self-aware, or emotionally capable. This confusion fuels unrealistic fears and also false expectations. Instead, we must see AI as a simulation of certain aspects of intelligence, a tool designed to amplify human capabilities, a technology that can solve specific problems at speed and scale, but cannot replicate the whole spectrum of what humans can do. Reflection for a moment. In your own words, how would you define intelligence? Can you describe a situation where you saw human intelligence clearly surpass what a computer or machine could do? Conversely, can you think of a situation where a machine was able to achieve something humans would struggle with? Write down your answers or discuss with peers. This reflection helps clarify where human and machine intelligence overlap and where they diverge. Key takeaways. 1. Intelligence means learning, adaptation, reasoning, and problem solving. 2. Human intelligence is broad, emotional, and creative. Machine intelligence is data-driven, mathematical, and narrow. 3. Alan Turing's test introduced the practical question of whether machines could imitate aspects of intelligence well enough to be indistinguishable from humans. 4. Artificial intelligence is defined as systems that learn from data, adapt to inputs, and make useful predictions or decisions. 5. AI does not think like humans. It operates by discovering patterns and correlations in data.